everybody. Today is Wednesday, April 13th, 2016. Now, today, obviously, within the past, last Friday, the Holy Father, obviously issued that pretty much a caster catastrophic document, eh, which is properly, not officially by the Holy See, but properly translated as the joy of sex. And I will say this, that with the pretty much the church is pretty much surrendered itself, at least that has put itself in a more vulnerable position now, that it is more likely that the Vatican could be taken over by ISIS, and because of what's the immorality, what's going in today's Vatican. Now, well, here's my first complaint I have. Number one, I am very disappointed in Cardinal Burke's response to this document. That his response pretty much sums up that that he is not interested, and he has no plans to consecrate traditionalist bishops in the near future. So, and obviously, this has to be done again, like somebody has to do it, just like Archbishop Lefebvre had to do it almost 30 years ago, 28 years ago, in order to obviously save the priesthood, and this is the only way it's going to be done. Now, obviously, we might be wrong, but the response implies that Cardinal Burke is going to play ball with this document, which I am very disappointed in that, especially being a cardinal, okay, who spoke out against everything else in recent years, and now he's going to balk on this. Okay, so that shows you that he has no interest in has no sense of urgency, rather, in saving the Catholic priesthood for the next generations to come. Now, number two, the United States of America now has a new nuncio, papal nuncio. He is a Frenchman, and I'm not going to say his name, but all I'll say is that he is a liberal, and he is playing by the Bergoglio program, which pretty much states that for now, here on out, at least for the United States, possibly all over the world, but especially now the U.S., one of the larger countries in the world, obviously, that we are no longer, as of this day forward, we are unlikely to get decent bishops to replace the other bishops dying or retiring. So this also shows that a need for more episcopal consecrations without a papal mandate, because we're not going to get anyone decent anytime soon, and then the future generations are gonna, at least if you go to a diocesan parish, then you can pretty much kiss the, you can, yeah, you can pretty much kiss the, if the tradition-minded diocese goodbye, because they won't be pretty soon. They won't be shortly, in a few years, depending on if who the replacements are, and if obviously if the Bergoglio is still stays around, then you're not going to get anyone decent in the near time soon. So what he will do is he will this nuncio appointment is to ensure to pack the U.S. episcopate with heretics, pretty much. That's it. There's no other way to say it. While the overall, the United States in general is on, and the constitutional republic, okay, is on life support, and it pretty much now sums up that obviously, let me let me say another comment about the presidential election so far. There is on the on the GOP side, okay, there is a rule, a convention rule called Rule 40, which was passed for the 2012 to prevent Ron Paul supporters for 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 counting his delegates. So what the rule in that rule obviously is still in effect, and the rule is that in order to be on the first ballot at the 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 RNC convention, you have to have won 8 states, and there are only 2 candidates that have won 8 states, at least 8 states: Donald Trump and Ted Cruz. So they will be the only first 2 on the ballot. So that means the other one candidates who've since suspended their campaigns, who have won hundreds of delegates, like Marco Rubio, and now the guy who's still in it, John Kasich, they haven't won 8 states, and they're not going to win 8 states, so they cannot appear on the ballot. So their delegates can vote for either Trump or Cruz, okay? So that is the rule on the first ballot. If nobody gets the 1237, it's open. Now, there is the idiot RNC chair, little leprechaun, Reince Priebus, okay? Apparently, the Executive Rules Committee, they're going to have a meeting probably sometime next week to try to change the rule to allow the other candidate, or modify it so like Kasich can his name can appear on the ballot, on the convention ballot, first ballot, to block Trump or Cruz to getting the 1237 on the first ballot to win the nomination. Now, in my opinion, at this stage of the game, that is a bunch of BS, because I don't believe the rules should be changed this late in the game. If they wanted to be changed, they should have been changed before the elections began, before the primaries began, and that would have been fair. But now it's not fair. But living in a deep blue state which doesn't give a shit anymore about America or God or country or cops or military or hard work or in some cases. Okay, a Republican vote for president means nothing, pretty much. Okay, I'm not saying, and according to some preliminary polling, that either Trump or Cruz up in my state. I'm obviously, if you know me, you know where I live, what state I live in. If you don't, I'm not going to say right away. But apparently, according to these polls, they just polls, but it shows that both Trump or Cruz will lose to Hillary Clinton. It will lose the state I live in to Hillary big time, so it won't matter. I mean, to me, if people still don't understand that the president has never been elected by popular vote, but most of the time the popular vote getter has been elected president. So, in other words, popular vote doesn't matter. Okay, it's the electoral college, and in my state, in living memory, except for in most people's living memory. I mean, obviously, I'm not that old, but in most people's living memory, only in, let's say, the past 70 years or so, only two Republicans have won the state, and they are Dwight Eisenhower and Ronald Reagan. Those are the only two that won this particular state, and they both got elected president. But otherwise, it goes Democrat pretty much every presidential election, and so if you vote if you vote Republican, it means nothing. Okay, it means nothing. So I mean, I'm obviously my vote will just be for whomever it is. It'll just be a simple dissent to the whole picture. So it means nothing. But but the overall thing is that if you don't show up to vote, you don't have the right to complain. You don't have the right to complain down the road the next time around when the country was pretty much dead. If you didn't at least show up to vote, and even if you vote for a third party guy or write somebody in, at least you showed up to vote. Okay, at least you did your civic duty. If you don't show up to vote, then you have no reason to complain. You want the country to go to, you don't care, fine. You want the country to go to hell, fine. You want to be taken over possibly taken over by, our country, parts of it into a caliphate, fine. If you want that, fine. Most of us obviously do not want that. Okay? It's insane. Now, and it's so mind-boggling that now I understand a little bit why Bernie Sanders is still in this race. Okay? Why he's still in this race, even though he is probably not going to win it, win the party's Democratic nomination. Now, here it is. Here's probably why he's still in. The front Hillary could get indicted, and people are upset. A lot of people are upset, and so at least Bernie gives them another choice. Okay? And I cannot believe that the Democratic Party would allow a potential felon, okay, as their party's nominee. Now, what I'm saying here is that if whether she gets off or not, that's another story altogether. It'll be at least a couple years before the case is adjudicated, okay? What I am saying is if you have a federal indictment, even a state level indictment, okay, on and you have a criminal case pending against you and you are running for president, okay, this is pathetic. Okay, this is insane. Okay, okay, this is why at this point in time I would not vote for Hillary, because this alone, or anybody, this alone is pathetic. Why am I going to have a potential convicted felon serving as president of the United States, the highest office of the land? And she could, well, all might as well go to prison, and she will still, and if she is not impeached and removed by Congress, she will still serve as president from her prison cell. Okay? This is insane. The White House prison cell. Wow. Oh. Okay, this is insane. And obviously I'm not obviously I would even there are some Democrats I know, they'd say we would never vote for Bernie Sanders, okay? They said if it's either Hillary or nothing. Well, so they won't even consider Trump or Cruz, obviously, because they're Dems. So it's either Hillary or bust. They won't even vote for Bernie if he's the nominee. So this is this. So I mean, but still, I mean, but but the only but if worse comes to worse, if I mean, you could say that obviously he's campaigning to give everybody put everyone on Medicare and then offer free public college, well, and raise everyone's taxes to pay for them. Well, no, if regardless, if the GOP retains control of Congress, which I predict is possibly, would not surprise me of who not surprise me if they lose at least one of the chambers of the Congress. But if they retain both seats, if they retain both majority control of the whole Congress, then all of Bernie's plans are not going to come true. Okay, he will just be a one-term placeholder president, and then that will give the GOP 4 years to rebuild. Okay, that's what my opinion is. He will. I mean, that's if he retains both. If the GOP Republicans retain both houses of the Congress. Now, if the Democrats take control back of the Senate, we're really with a Democratic president, we are screwed, because we are going to possibly get up to 4 younger, fresh, liberal justices who will take this and throw it down the toilet, flush it down the toilet. Okay, so especially Justice Ginsburg, she will, if if Clinton, especially if Clinton or Sanders is the next president, she's like almost 84, 85, I think. She's in her 80s, so she will most likely retire, and then she will be replaced. And if there's a Democratic Senate, she will be replaced by a 30-year-old something feminist who just got her law license last week. Okay, that is, and then the liberals, we get a liberal majority on the court, and then there goes the Constitution. It'll be reinterpreted to without any reason or logic at all, and then that's it. So, and now be it, and that justice, that feminist justice, could serve for a good 50 years easy. Okay, that's not what we want, and that could happen there. Now, another thing, if Hillary gets coronated, gets her crown, and takes control of her palace, she will throw the Constitution down the. She'll throw the First and Second Amendments down the toilet right away. Okay, and here's the other thing for not for all persons who believe in God. She will come after us first. You believe in God, you're gonna be thrown in a dumpster like during the Hitler's reign, Third Reich, Holocaust. That's what possibly could happen, and it's not going to be funny. There'll be there'll possibly be an American Holocaust, which not includes just Jews, but it will include traditionalist Catholics who disobey, who don't agree with Jorge Bergoglio, okay, and don't agree with his Bergoglio's just come over the border, don't, William Wall is not Christian, okay, that kind of attitude, and then most importantly, besides Cardinal Burke, he is still a U.S. citizen. Hillary will probably just strip him of his citizenship here, and I don't think he'd care because he lives in Rome right now, so I don't think he would care, so then he would not be able to come back to the United States. But more importantly, the other traditionalist bishops, like Bishop Fillet, Bishop Tizier de Mallory, Bishop Gallaretta, and then from the SSPX, and then Cardinal Sarah, who's actually spoke out a little more. Cardinal Napier, he's from Africa. The black guys, they're actually more orthodox than anybody right now. And then Bishop Athanasius Schneider. Okay, those are like the handful that are left that are non-U.S. citizen faithful bishops. Okay, they under a Hillary presidency, they will probably be banned from entering the United States, and they cannot administer confirmation nor ordain priests. Okay, so this is more serious for the traditionalist Catholics than for anyone else. Okay, why Hillary cannot enter the White House again as the president, as potentially becoming the first queen of the United States. So this is not funny at all, and I'm going to be really upset, and I might as well. Too bad I don't have have a house with a flagpole in front, but if I did, I would fly at half staff every day for the rest of for the nearby future, because this is sad. And then let me close with the last thing that I happened to listen to Jeff Cooner report yesterday, and that he mentioned, he played an audio of that that one of the Democratic state senators in Massachusetts, okay, at the state house, she led the Pledge of Allegiance at the state house at an illegal immigration rally, okay, and who also was there was the 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 pathetic attorney general who doesn't prosecute too much, okay, so she was there too, but this state senator refused. She purposely admitted the words "under God" from the publicly while leading the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, that tells you that the Democratic Party does not believe in God, period. And I have doubts that a lot of pretty much most Novus Ordo Catholics probably don't believe in God. They don't believe in the real president. They don't believe in the Blessed Sacrament. So I don't can see how can they have a simple belief in God. And I wonder why many of them are still on the rolls with the Democratic Party. So I mean, and this is really sad. Even Obama would say "under God." Even he said "leave the pledge alone." Okay, and now this is a state senator. Okay, a state senator. You know what? Her seat's up for re-election this year. I hope someone beats the crap out of her. Or better yet, I think she shouldn't run for re-election. Because if you can't pledge allegiance to God and your country, you have no business being in public service in this country. I don't care. I don't care if you're a tax collector, an IRS guy, a four sleeper, a DPW guy, or you're the president. If you're not a patriot, you shouldn't be in public service, okay? Even either elected or civil service or appointed, okay? This is insane. And so, but anyway, that's my end of the day. Please pray the Dominican 15-decade rosary pretty much every day. Pray to Our Lady that she pray for the consecration, that the Pope consecrate Russia. It's a possibility that it even comes out more evident now that I really starting to believe more that Benedict XVI was forced off the papal throne, and potentially he could still be the canonically elected pope. So God bless you all. In nomine Patri et Filii